The left will never stop their agenda to take over America. You are their enemy, and they will not negotiate. Prepare yourselves. Welcome to the Blue Shark Show with your host, Mike Lang.
Here in Hood County, we face a political identity crisis. What I mean by that is, of course, you have Republicans, Democrats, then you have some Libertarians, and you may have some outside people on different fringes, whether the Green Party or whatever it may be. But we have a significant amount of people that keep saying they're Republicans when in fact they're either Democrats, Libertarians, or something else. But that's the only way they can get involved in politics in Granbury or Hood County, because Hood County is supposedly a very red county, and that's for the GOP. So I'm going to get into some of the GOP races, the chair, the precinct chairs, things like that. But I want to let the people know that there's an identity crisis. And within the party here in Hood County, we go by the Republican Party platform. If you don't want to follow the platform or you don't know about the platform, then you're really not a Republican. You may think you're going to vote for Trump. Hey, Trump's our guy. He may be on a federal level. You may vote for Trump. But when you get down to the local level, you're voting for Democrats. So I'm going to clear up some of this misconception and this divisiveness, the division here in Hood County. And I'm going to start by saying, in the party, the true party, the precinct chairs, the chair, the platform, there is no division, because everybody there, almost everybody there that's elected, believes in the platform. They believe in the principles of the Republican Party. If you don't, then you're really not part of that Republican Party. So what party or what are you part of? The Republican National Committee on their website has who we are, and they have a paragraph going into it, and you can click on a lot of things on their website. But one of the sentences in there, the principles of the Republican Party recognize the God-given liberties while promoting opportunities for every American. So our rights are given to us by God, period. So we have these rights. Now you go to the Democrat Party, the preamble, and their start of their preamble is America is an idea. It's an idea. So that idea is ever-changing, evolving. There's really no principles. There's no morals about it. It's just an idea. Whatever you want to believe, whatever you want to do. So those are the two main parties. You have the Republicans, the God-given rights, and you have the idea for the Democrats. And we can go into, the border issues, abortion, gun control, all those issues, but that's the main stance of each party. So with all this being said, here in Hood County, we have a group that was started by so-called Republicans, Democrats. There's a lot of people involved in this little social group, and they're called the United Republicans of Hood County. The United Republicans of Hood County aren't part of the Republican Party or the Republican Club. They use the name Republican just so they can sway the voters who aren't in the know, the voters that aren't as educated on what's going on in Hood County, and that's fine. I'm all for groups being in the process, in the political process, but they're deceiving Hood County people saying that they are Republicans. For example, the United Republicans of Hood County, they have people that put up signs for Democrats, and it's called Hood County Republicans for Democrats. If you're part of the United Republicans of Hood County, you have an identity crisis. Any social organization that puts Republican on their name and says Republicans for Democrats in any election, you have an identity crisis, because the Republican Party platform that has God-given rights, they stand for your First Amendment, Second Amendment, all your rights, while the Democrats stand for abortion, taking your guns away, no border control. So how can a Republican and all its moral values stand for what the Democrats do, whether it's on a national level, a local level, wherever it may be? You can't have those two entities in the same space morally. So they're deceiving the public when they put Republican. You can put whatever you want in there, but don't deceive the people of Hood County. The Hood County News had an article by senior staff writer Kathy Cruz, who is no longer with the Hood County News, but this was March 6, 2023. And she quotes Brett Deason, who's part of the United Republicans of Hood County, who's ran for several elected positions but hasn't won. The political scene in our county has become incredibly toxic, and that has kept many people from participating in our elections, said Brett Deason. So here you have the toxic word coming out, and we always hear the divisiveness and how come we can't get together. And like I said, identity crisis, people. You have United Republicans for Democrats, and it's toxic because their people, Democrats, whoever else, aren't getting elected. So they wanted to start this new group. That's fine, but they're still using Republican. And Brett Deason goes on and says, we hope this group can change basically what's going on, the toxic area in Hood County. And we believe in Ronald Reagan's Big Tent philosophy, all Republicans are welcome. Yes, all Republicans are welcome. But like I said, God-given rights, we go by the platform, we go by the Constitution, both Texas and U.S., and it's not the Democrat deal of, hey, America's an idea, we can change whatever, and, you know, the Constitution's just a ever-flowing living document, and we don't have to pay attention to it, but only the things we want to pay attention to, only the platform planks we want to pay attention to. So I go back to the Republican Club, Republican Party, Republican planks. There's a difference between us. There's no division over the Republicans who want the party planks, who stand for the God-given rights, but there is division from the people outside that don't agree with it, that want to change, whether they're Democrats, independents, libertarians, whatever you be, it doesn't matter. They want to change that, and they're saying that the Republican Party is divisive. They're not divisive. They believe in these things wholeheartedly, and people are trying to change the Republican Party and the Republican Party platform. So now that we have that as a base, let's move forward to the GOP chair, the election, and the election of the precinct chairs. You have Greg Harrell, who's running for GOP chair, and Greg goes to many of the functions for the Republican Party, the Republican Club. He's seen around a lot. He's involved in the elections. And he's got a website at gregharrellscampaign.com. And you can go to that. On the website, it says, as your candidate, I am on a mission rooted in genuine Republican and conservative principles. My commitment is clear. Celebrate our rich Republican heritage while building a future found on fiscal responsibility, individual liberty, and traditional values. And then he goes on with, his, where he worked, what he did. Go look at it for yourself and vet the candidates yourself. I always say that. What I see from Greg Harrell and what I know, he'd be ideal for the GOP chair. And then you have another person running who I haven't seen much from at all. Don't know if he has a website or anything like that. But Maxwell is in the group of the United Republicans of Hood County. And he actually had a sign in his yard, what I mentioned earlier. All right? United Republicans for Democrats. So you have a GOP chair that's actually Republican in Greg Harrell. And then you have somebody running for GOP chair that is for Democrats in certain races. On what planet, in what state of Texas, and in Hood County would you have a GOP chair that has a sign in his yard saying, United Republicans vote for a Democrat? That is not a GOP chair. That is part of the identity crisis from this group. Now, if you're a Democrat or somebody else and you want to vote for this person, by all means, go ahead and vote for this person. Vet the person, see what they want. If you're a Democrat and you love what this person's saying, go ahead and vote for him. You know, you can vote for whoever you want, but if you're a Republican, please don't be deceived. So let's move on to the precinct chairs. We have 12 precinct chair spots that are up for election. And after I read the names, and we're not going to delve into each single race, but after I read the 12 names of who I believe are the most conservative, please go vet your own candidates. Don't take my word for it. Please look and vet for yourself. But I will show a video that was made at the Republican Women here in Hood County, where the candidates got to, get up and speak if they were there. And I'm going to show you a video on what written statements of some of these precinct chairs of what they actually said. But first, let's go over the list of what I believe are the most conservative people running for the precinct chairs. Precinct 107, Lee McKellar. Precinct 112, Orville Johnson. Precinct 202, Craig Mayberry. Precinct 211, Shannon Wolf. Precinct 216, Tim Bolton. Precinct 218, Clint Helton. Precinct 312, Zane Hatch. Precinct 313, Stephen Erickson. Precinct 314, Gary Merritt. Precinct 317, Kathy Hayes. Precinct 404, Alejandra Munoz. And Precinct 409, Rachel Reed. Now, these are the precinct chairs that I believe, through my vetting process, that are the most conservative. You vote for whoever you want. Please do your own research. Now, let's get into the video that I'm talking about.
The first one is speaking for Mark Jackson. I'm going to read it as he wrote it. I'm running for your Republican precinct chair because I value and respect the rights of all individuals of Hood County. Instead of letting Austin call the shots or merely abiding by the state party platform, my focus will be on local needs coordinated with sound, consistent, and efficient delivery of government services while also holding fast to fiscally conservative values.
Mark Jackson is running for precinct chair. And there's a lady that read his statement, a written statement, at the Republican Women of Hood County. And Mark Jackson thinks that the state of Texas is calling the shots. And he says merely the Republican Party platform, meaning he's not going to only go by the Republican Party platform. So first of all, there's so many things wrong with this. Only going by the platform, not only going to go, merely going to go. Well, the platform is the platform. And it's not done by the state of Texas, okay? These aren't coming out of Austin from the legislative branch or, wherever it may be, executive branch. When you run for an office, you should know a little bit about the office before you go out there and speak of things you do not know. So first of all, the Republican Party platform, the planks come from the precinct convention, then it goes to the county convention, and then you go down to wherever it may be, Houston, Austin, Fort Worth, and you get together and all the planks get together. They're voted on by all the Republican parties. Austin has nothing to do with this other than they have Republicans that come down and they're inside the process of the Republican Party. So I don't know. Mark Jackson has no idea what he's talking about. Nothing comes out of Austin. And merely by the Republican platform, are you going to be a Democrat saying that America is an idea, that Hood County is an idea, and we'll just kind of flow with whatever's going on in Hood County and, whatever we can do for the best of Hood County? That's not the principles of the Republican Party. That may be the principles of the United Republican Party. That shouldn't use the word united. Deception once again. Divisiveness once again. So, Mark, I would say, look and understand about the job you read about it. Talk to people about being a precinct chair. Talk to people what the Republican Party platform is. Talk to somebody what it means about being a Republican. And, from races before, Mark's talked about being a libertarian, and that's fine. People, you can be whatever you want. Be Democrat, libertarian. Matter of fact, I respect you more if you fight for your values, even though they're different from mine. But I'll respect you more if you fight for it rather than deceive people. So we move on from Mark Jackson to Bradley Yarboro.
In the last 2 years, Brad has been more involved in local politics, and he sees a need for change in Hood County Republican Party. He feels that the party has been pushing Austin values onto Granbury residents, and it's time to bring back our local values, which makes Granbury so great.
Now, Bradley has less knowledge of what's going on than even Mark Jackson does, which is even harder to believe. So here you have Bradley Yarboro running, trying to get into a precinct chair, a Republican precinct chair, and he says that the Hood County Party, Republican Party, is pushing Austin values onto Granbury residents. So first of all, Austin doesn't push values through the Republican Party onto Hood County residents. Hood County residents, now I talked about this before, are the exact people who made the platform from the precinct chair convention to the county convention. They turn in the platform planks. So what he's saying is he thinks that everything comes from Austin to Granbury. Well, I've got some news for you, Bradley Yarboro. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's the citizens, the Republican Party, citizens of Hood County, put together these planks, and it went to the precinct and county conventions and then the state convention. So when you hear people say Austin values, that's a strike. That person doesn't even need to be in the Republican Party because they haven't done their research. So there's the deception again with the United Republicans of Hood County. Now, he's in precinct race 409 against Rachel Reed. So do your homework, folks. You've got Rachel Reed, a conservative and a Republican, and you've got Bradley Yarboro, a United Republican of Hood County, who doesn't even know where the platform plank comes from. And he wants to bring back, and this quote follows on, pushing Austin values onto Granbury residents to bring back local values, which is even worse because these local values went from the precinct to the county to the state convention as our very own local values. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's deceiving you, the people of Hood County. So as I wrap this up, people of Hood County, please go out, vet the people for yourself. Hey, if you want to vote for some of these clowns, vote for them. But if you're a true Republican from, Trump all the way down, then you're going to vote for the people on the list. After you do your research, you'll see. But if you see anything that has to do with the United Republicans of Hood County, know this. They are for Democrats. Republicans for Democrats. That's how it started. And once again, that's great. Go vote for whoever you want, United Republicans. But don't deceive the people. Be better than that. And quit dividing Hood County.